How can parents help? For everyone. Your child doesn't want to feel like this, and parents may feel frustrated that they are unable to help their child. Be supportive and let your child know that you understand how they are feeling and that everyone worries and feels anxious, including you. Be positive and let your child know that there are things they can do to make themselves feel better and that together you will be able to beat anxiety. What not to do. Try not to get angry. You may feel frustrated, but try to stay calm and remember that your child isn't deliberately trying to frustrate or annoy you. They are feeling worried and need your support. Don't say it will be okay. Parents want to help their children and encourage them to do things and may say it will be okay. The reality is that your child will feel anxious. Be honest. Say that they will feel anxious, but that they will be able to cope. Don't say don't worry. Your child would stop worrying if they could. The problem is that they can't, so this only makes things worse. As a parent, you can show your child how to face, cope, and overcome their anxiety. You will have your own fears and worries, and so it's a good opportunity to model and show your child how you cope with your anxiety. For example, if you are feeling anxious about telephoning someone, you can use this as a way of teaching your child to cope. Talk them through how you will deal with this. Acknowledge how you are feeling. You can say that you're feeling a bit worried about making a phone call. Name the feeling. Say that you are feeling anxious and perhaps have noticed your heart is racing or that you're feeling hot. Name the worry. Say you are worried what this person will ask you and that you might not know the answer. Make a plan. Say you can write down what you want to say on a piece of paper in case you forget, and that you need to remind yourself that you have done this before and it was okay. If you don't know the answer, you can just say, "That's a good question, I'll find out." Do it. Show your child that you will make the call and not avoid it. And then celebrate. Afterwards, praise yourself and say that you're really pleased you did that. Instead of avoiding the things that make them anxious, encourage your child to face their fears and be brave. Rather than letting their anxious feelings stop them doing things, encourage them to take their anxiety with them and to face their fears. Remember that your child will feel anxious as they face their fears. This is normal. What is different is that instead of being bossed around by their anxiety, your child is taking steps to reclaim their life. Don't let anxiety win. Help your child learn to face and deal with the things that make them anxious. Be supportive, positive, and encouraging. When we feel anxious, we often spend more time talking about what we haven't done, what has gone wrong, or how bad we felt, rather than what we have been able to achieve. Our talk is about failure, being unable to cope, and feeling anxious, which strengthens your child's belief that they cannot be successful, they cannot cope, they cannot beat their anxiety. We need to shift the focus and to spend less time talking about failure and anxiety to more time talking about being brave and coping. Steer the conversation to what your child has achieved, how they coped, how they managed to beat their anxiety. Keep a positive focus and praise them for being brave and trying to beat their anxiety. Help your child learn to tolerate anxiety. Anxiety is normal and will always be there. If your child avoids the things that make them anxious, they may feel better for a little while, but the anxiety will return. You can't take away or protect your child from experiencing it. Help them experience anxiety and learn to tolerate it. This will help your child learn that whilst anxiety is unpleasant, it is bearable. So don't avoid or work around situations that create anxiety. If your child is anxious in shops, don't avoid taking them shopping. Try to reduce the anxiety by taking them to smaller shops, shorter shopping trips, or going at times when the shops are less busy. But make sure that they experience anxiety and learn to cope with it. Encourage and support your child to find ways to solve their problems. Anxious children often feel that they can't cope and don't know how to deal with problems. As your child needs to learn to tolerate anxiety, they also need to learn that they can cope and find solutions. Teach your child to be independent and support them to find and try their own solutions. If your child is worried about inviting a friend over, don't invite them for them. Sit down and work through their worries. For example, what they would say if someone unexpected picked up the phone, or if their friend is busy. Then ask them to call as you stay with them. Or if your child is going on a school trip and is worried about where they will sleep, don't ask a teacher for them. Sit down and ask them to write their questions down and then arrange to meet with the teacher so they can ask their questions. As a way of dealing with anxiety and worries, many children seek reassurance from their parents that everything will be okay. For some children, brief reassurance can be helpful. A short, positive, and encouraging comment can help children to feel safe and help them to face their worries. There are other times when reassurance can be unhelpful. Some children seek constant reassurance, and no matter how many times parents reassure them, it never seems to be enough. The child asks more and more questions and is never reassured. When this happens, reassurance is making the anxiety worse, since the child is constantly talking about their worries. If brief reassurance helps a child to feel less anxious and encourages them to face their fears, then this should be continued. If the child constantly seeks reassurance and continues to feel anxious and avoid things, then reassurance isn't helping. When this happens, limit reassurance and reduce the time spent talking about worries. Reassure them once or twice, and then distract or deal with future attempts to seek reassurance with a short, encouraging statement.